Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday to you. I pray that all is well and I pray that everything is going your way. Today is Tuesday, May 19th, 2020, and today we will be discussing parts of an argumentative essay. Now, I suspect that this video will not be long simply because I have already reviewed this with my students, but for anyone that's watching the playback or anyone that just needs a refresher on the parts of an essay, or if you are interested in learning the parts of an essay, keep watching this video, okay? And excuse me while I take a sip of water. Got to stay moisturized, that's very important. All right, so today, what I want to do, I want to go ahead and just review very quickly the parts of an argumentative essay, what an argumentative essay is, and why is it important that we know all the parts of an argumentative essay? Well, it's very simple because in English, there are many different types of formats and there's many different types of essays that you can write. Okay. You have what's called an informative essay, which is basically a research paper where you would have to obtain research and where you would have to find certain sites and certain pieces of information to go along with your essay. You also have what is called an a narrative. Basically, a narrative is just a story. Okay. Narratives take on many different formats, such as, poems, such as fables, such as parables. So, those are different formats and different types of essays that you can write. However, if you are trying to obtain your GED, or if you are just trying to become a stronger writer and learn about the different types of essays and different types of formats, then you are definitely in the right place. Okay, so what I want to focus on is the argumentative essay. Now, I'm going to open up I'm going to open up a new slide here. I was going to say a very new slide, like I didn't need to say that, but I'm going to open it up. I'm going to put it here. Okay, and then of course I got my handy dandy floating toolbar, which is enlarged hey toolbar. All right. All right, so what is an argumentative essay? Okay, an argumentative essay is simply what it is. So, an argumentative essay is a type of essay that is written to persuade or to convince the reader that the writer's point of view is correct. Now, again, I always like to break down words simply because when we understand how words work, it makes sense. And we can apply that particular concept better. So the key word in argumentative essay would be argument, but I'll take it a step further and say argue. So if we really look at these words, argument slash argue, what does that mean? When we are in an argument with someone, what are we doing? We are having a debate. we are having a heated discussion at most times. Sometimes it can just start off as a healthy conversation, which then goes into something, deeper. A lot of people can become passionate when it comes to arguments simply because they want the other person to agree with what they're saying. Okay, so for example, an argument can be something as blue is the best color in the whole world. You can have someone say, no, I disagree. Red is the best color. And so the goal is for the person that says that blue is the best color to point out why. Why is blue the best color? And then that person will say, okay, well, blue is the better color or the best color in the world because blah, 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 blah. Then the other person who likes red better would say, well, I understand what you're saying. However, red is the better color because blah, 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 blah. So when we are in an argument or when we are arguing with someone, we're trying to prove a point. Okay. So when we're having an argument or a heated discussion or a healthy debate, however you want to, word it, you want to prove a point and you have to have evidence. You have to have proof to back up what it is that you're saying. Okay. So again, an argumentative essay, if we break down what the key words are, which are argument and argue, it is a type of essay that is written to persuade or to convince. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bold and underline. Okay. Well, again, when we are in an argument, what are we doing? We are trying to persuade someone. We're trying to convince someone of something. Okay. For example, kids are the masterminds of persuasion and convincing parents to do stuff. Some, not all. But if you think about it, mommy, 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 I want those new shoes. Why? And of course, as a parent, you would say, why do you want the new shoes when I just bought you a pair of new shoes like a month ago or something, right? Mommy, mommy, mommy. The reason why is I like them. Everybody has them. Joni's parents got her the shoes, and I want the shoes because Joni has them. So the kid or the child is giving the reasons why um, they want the shoes. Now it's up to the child to convince the mom or the dad or whomever to buy the shoes. And of course, if the parents are convinced, they're going to get the shoes. If the parents are not convinced or persuaded, they're not going to get the shoes. So in essence, you want to make sure that you understand, in essence, an argumentative essay is just simply an essay written to persuade or to convince. That's it. If you all are watching and have some people that are interested in going off to college, depending on what your major is or depending upon what you're taking up in college, you may have to write a lot of essays. You may have to write different formats and different types of essays, and this could potentially be one of them. So I just want to implore you, encourage you, please make sure that you know the difference between the different types of essays and the different types of author's purpose for those essays. I believe I did a video, I think, on author's purpose. Remember, author's purpose is to entertain, to inform, or to persuade or to convince. And so you want to make sure that you know the difference between the author's purpose, because when you as an author are writing, you want to make sure that your reader understands what it is, not only of what you've written, but also connect with your writing. That's very important. Connections are so important. Excuse me. So I am now going to go to the next slide. And again, this is a lesson that I've previously covered. I am just revisiting this particular topic simply because, I have students who had questions about argumentative essays and they needed a refresher on it. So I just figured, why not go ahead and go over it. Okay. So again, an argumentative essay means to persuade or to convince. Now, how we write paragraphs and essays and anything in writing, that is very important. As you can see on the screen, I wrote down third person objective. Now, third person goes back to the 8 parts of speech, which is pronouns. Okay, so again, I do have a playlist. Shout out to Schoolhouse Rock. I have a playlist that deals with the 8 parts of speech. So if you forgot what a pronoun was, please make sure that you go ahead and watch the Schoolhouse Rock video dealing with the 8 parts of speech, because that is definitely going to help with your writing as it relates to writing argumentative essays. So third person objective. The word objective means to be unbiased. The opposite of that is subjective. So again, what I'm going to do, because I don't think I have any room over here to write it. So I'm just going to open up a new page here, and I am going to type out for you some notes. Okay. Again, the word objective means to be unbiased. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to bold and highlight that. And then what I'm going to do, all right. So when you think of things objectively, you are looking at them from an unbiased point of view. In other words, you're not taking it personal. Okay. It's not something that you can relate to. It's not something that you know. It is something that is not personal. Okay. So the opposite of that would be subjective. And I'm introducing these words to you all. So in the event that you run across them or you see them, you can have a better understanding of what they mean. Remember, words have power. Okay, that's very important. And we have someone that's joining us this morning. So let me acknowledge the student. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Hampton. It's Neil.
Oh, good morning, Neil. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I am well, thank you. This morning we are discussing the argumentative essay and the parts to an argumentative essay, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right. So again, thank you for joining me this morning. I do appreciate it. You can put your nice little self on mute, and if I have any questions for you, just be ready for them, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. All right. So with argumentative essays, they are written in third person objective, meaning unbiased and is not personal. Okay. So the opposite of objective would be subjective. Okay. To be subjective means that it is personal. It is something that you are familiar with. It's something that you can relate to. Okay. Now, when it comes to writing in third person, again, if you are unfamiliar with the different types of persons, such as first person, second person, third person, please make sure you watch the playback video on sponsored by, or not sponsored by, but with Schoolhouse Rock, okay? And it will tell you everything that you need to know as it relates to pronouns, okay? Or if I need to just do a separate video on the 8 parts of speech, leave it in the comment section on my channel so that way I can have time to prepare and to do that for you all, okay? All right. All right. So, all right. So, something else you have to know and understand with argumentative essays, there are certain words that you cannot use in your essay. And again, I understand that for some, this may be difficult because we have been conditioned to write in first person. And what I mean by first person, I mean by I, me, my. We're writing it from our standpoint, from our point of view. And because we are the narrators of that particular story that we are speaking of, we tend to use those words. I, me, my, we, mine, our, we tend to use those types of words. However, when you are writing in third person, you cannot use first person words. You have to write from a third person perspective. Okay, so I feel, I think, I believe, in my opinion, you can't write those things because, again, they all are using the pronoun I. I think, I feel, I believe, my opinion. Okay. So those things are very, very important simply because you cannot write in third person. Okay. And we have another um, I heard another ding. So that means we have someone else that's joining us this morning. So as always, I want to acknowledge the student. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, is this Brittany?
Yes.
Okay, good morning, Brittany. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are discussing the argumentative essay and the elements that you need to be successful in writing the essay. Okay, so as always, just make sure that your phone is on mute and that you're taking notes because there will be an assignment after this. And please make sure that you all that are watching the playback videos, make sure that you do the assignments. You just can't watch the videos. Okay, cannot stress that enough. The assignments are equally as important as you just watching the videos. Okay, now another part of the argumentative essay that there are 5 paragraphs. Okay, so there are 5. All right. So I put the 5 paragraphs that you can write in your argumentative essay, minimum of 4. Meaning, again, depending on what kind of topic you have or what type of essay, more than likely it will be the argumentative essay on your GED English exam. But again, it depends on the formatting of the question, and it just depends on a lot of other factors. The reason why I say minimum of 4 paragraphs is simply because sometimes you may have to write a compare and contrasting essay where you have your introductory paragraph and then you have your second paragraph, which talks about the things that your topic has in common. The third paragraph talks about things that are different pertaining to the topic. And then your final paragraph discusses the overview of your essay. So that's the reason why I said minimum of 4. That's only if you are having to write a compare-contrast essay. But normally, more than most times, you have to write a bare minimum of 5 paragraphs, okay? Now, what I would like to do, I want to go over each part of the essay as a refresher, so that way anybody that's watching this can have a better understanding of how argumentative essays work, okay? And again, to Mr. Neal and Brittany, if you have any questions at any given time, you can take yourselves off mute. You're more than welcome to ask. And then once I answer the question, just make sure you put yourselves back on mute, okay? So again, any questions at all, please feel free to ask. Oh, one more thing. Let me add this up here too before I go to another slide. Please don't write in conclusion as you're in the final paragraph of your essay. We know it's the end, so please don't write that. We know. Okay, so what I'll do is, these are things that you are not to write in your essay. I feel, I think, I believe, in my opinion, and in conclusion. We know it's the end. We know, trust me. Okay. All right. So now I want to go to the introductory paragraph. Uh-oh. Doing the page. All right. Okay. Now, because we've already gone over this, to my students that are here with me this morning, if you want to chime in and tell me what you remember about the parts of an argumentative essay, please, I encourage you to do so. And if there's anything that you think or you may remember, please feel free to chime in as well. Okay, so an introductory paragraph is exactly what it says. It's the introduction to your essay. That's what it is. Okay, so it is the introduction to your essay. This is the beginning, stages of what we are going to expect as the reader when we read essays, okay? Or when you read an essay, you want to know what is the essay about. So that's the introductory paragraph. Now, a couple of things. You always want to start off with a general statement about said topic. Okay? So, a lot of times your question will be the topic. So, just to give an example, should schools open back up in August? Using the pandemic as an example, this will be an excellent topic because this is something that we are all facing and dealing with right now. So you will start off with a general statement about the topic, okay? So what I'm going to do is this. All right. So this would be your question. So the question would, okay. There you go. Question: should schools open back up in August due to the pandemic? Okay, so you want to start off with a general statement. So the general statement can be something like this. You could say something like the pandemic is affecting the world, because it is. That's something general. That's something that everybody can, relate to. Okay. So the pandemic is really affecting the world. Okay, so that's a general statement. There are so many circumstances that are happening right now. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to narrow it down to your question. So you want to start off with a general statement. That's my general statement. The next thing you want to add is you want to add like a, what's the word I want to say? You want to add something that's going to ease into your question. Okay.
Miss Hampton, do you want us to answer now or
Huh?
later? Do you want us to answer the question now or later?
Oh, no, no, no. Well, not right now. I'm just using this as an example, but we can, have a discussion about it momentarily. But I'm just, again, just breaking down the parts of an argumentative essay. So think about your answers, because we are going to talk about it. Okay, so have your
Okay.
answers ready.
Okay, no problem.
But that was a good question. Thank you, Mr. Neal. Okay, so as you can see here, how many sentences do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 sentences. Now remember, a paragraph, a good hearty paragraph, has about 5 to 7 sentences. You do not want to be verbose. You do not want to be too wordy. Okay. Now, this is where your question comes in. So the second part of this is making sure that you add your question into your introductory paragraph. All right. So the question is, should schools open back up in August? Because again, a lot of schools have decided to close as early as the beginning of May. I think in one state, one state, I can't remember what state it was, closed in like April. And they're trying to wait and see what the pandemic is going to do as it relates to, will we flatten the curve or will it get worse because people are not using masks and not washing their hands and wearing gloves and all that good stuff. Okay, so now I want to hear from you all. The question is, should schools open back up in August? So I'll start with you, Mr. Neal. Do you think schools should open back up in August? Tell me why or why not.
Well, due to the pandemic, you can't like. Well, schools should open back in August if um the death case and the death of people, the cases and the death of people low down. If it's low, well, and it's safe, school should be open. But
Okay, so what you're saying is yes, schools should be allowed to be open back up in August. Okay, so
yeah,
that's
once
good.
the cases, everything is low.
Yes, okay. Once Auntie Rona and Uncle Virus goes away, I try my best not to say the C word because it's very, controversial. So that's why I call it Auntie Rona and Uncle Virus. All right, or you can say the pandemic. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your response. I definitely appreciate your feedback. Miss Brittany, if you are still with us, do you think schools should open back up in August? I'm not quite sure if she is still with us or not. Remember, I cannot see who. Oh, okay. So, did you hear the question? I'm sorry.
I think yes, the school should be open
Okay. Tell me why.
because people need that.
Because people, I'm sorry, you were breaking up. You said people need what?
People need to know their homework more, do their work.
Okay. I'm having a little difficulty of time hearing you, but hopefully I think I understood what you were saying. But again, I just wanted to make sure that I heard you clearly. You're saying that schools should open back up in August because you said people need to do their homework or people needed to
Work,
uh, do their work.
yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you for your response, Brittany.
Hmm.
Okay. So because you all have taken a stance and you all are saying yes, school should open back up, then that is what you will have to prove. You will have to explain why with reasons why school should open. Okay. So after you write the question in your first paragraph, the next thing you would say is either yes, school should open, or you could say, okay, so that would be your entire first paragraph. You would have a general statement, then you would have the question, and then you would literally answer the question. You would say again, yes, school should be open in August, or no, school should not be open. Okay, so one thing about argumentative essays, you must pick a side. You cannot say, well, it depends, or I don't know, or you have to be definitive and decisive in your answer. You have to pick a side. You have to make a choice. So for anybody that's watching the playback video who's indecisive, this essay is going to help you practice with not being as indecisive as you once were, if that makes any sense. Okay. All right. Okay. So now what I want to add is these pointers real quick. So start off with a general statement about said topic you're going to include. You're going to include your question in the paragraph. So what I'm going to do here, so that way people can see it, I am going to underline, bold and underline the question. So that way you can see that the question has already been included in the paragraph, in the introductory paragraph. So you have to make a definitive decision, meaning it has to be a final decision. Now, let me say this very, very quickly. I understand that sometimes we can pick a side on something, and as we continue to do research and as we continue to find the proof that we need to support our claim, that there may not be enough evidence, or we actually may change our minds. That can happen. That has happened to me from time to time. So I totally get it. I totally, excuse me, totally understand. However, you have to make sure again that you have all of everything that you need to support what it is that you're saying. That's very, very important. So again, make sure that when you see the question, and remember, you have to write this from an unbiased point of view. So you can't make this personal. Okay, so for example, I personally, I personally think that the school should not open, but I can't write that in my essay, if that makes any sense, because I am taking a subjective side versus the objective side. So I have to write this as if I don't know. But based on the evidence and the information that I'm getting from the news and any other news outlets and other platforms, I can make a sound decision. I can make a decision on that. Okay. So again, very, very important. Making sure that you know that this is a part of move that up. All right. I'm gonna lock that. All right. So that is the introductory paragraph. All right. So do we have any questions so far? How's everyone feeling? Everyone feel okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One. Okay. One. I was gonna say no news is good news to me. So I mean, just feel free. All right. Now we're going to go into the second, third, and fourth parts, okay, of your essay. So again, if you are watching this playback, please make sure that you can pause this video at any given time, take your notes. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer. Okay. So I'm going to open up a new page. And if you notice, I'm not using any colored background today. I'm just trying to keep it as plain as possible. So that way you all who are watching the playback can see the actual, the actual notes. Okay. All right. Now, the next part was what we call the body of the essay. So the body of the essay is where all of your proof, all of your evidence, everything to support your answer that you claimed in the first essay is going to go here. Now, again, this is where some people can debate 2 to 3 paragraphs. It just depends on who you are, and it just seriously depends on the topic itself. Okay. So the example that I'm going to use, of course, we're going to stick with the same topic. So we're going to stick with, should schools open in August due to the pandemic? Okay. So okay. Trying to word this here so it can make sense. So your second paragraph in this entire essay would be the first reason. Okay. So the first reason you feel schools should open up in August is because you can probably say the pandemic will have died down by then, or the pandemic should be non-existent, right? Something to that effect. So whatever your reason is, you would write that as your as a part of your the body of the paragraph. Okay. So first reason, school should open back up in August because. Okay. The pandemic will have subsided by then, and the word subside means to go away. Okay. So with that, that's your very first reason. Now, you are going to need about 2 or 3 sentences alone to support your reasoning. Okay, so whatever those reasons could be, the reason why is according to the news outlets, blah 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 blah, or according to blah 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 blah. So it's really whatever proof that you actually have, because remember, the goal of an argumentative essay is to prove what it is that you're writing, and you want the reader to agree with you. Okay. All right. So the third paragraph would be your second reason, whatever your second reason would be. So I don't know. Who can come up with another reason as to why schools should be open by August? So y'all help me out here.
Make them get credit.
Huh?
Make them build the credit.
They can build their credit?
Yeah.
Okay, what can you explain what that means?
Like, no, in high school, like, you build credit for participating in some event.
Oh, okay, okay. So what you're saying, Mr. Neal, is the second reason schools should be open, so that students and you want to make sure that you word it to where it makes sense, but you also want to
Okay.
no. What you said was fine, but you want to word it to where it's cohesive with what it is that you're writing about. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can say, so students can okay, so we can say so that students can still receive their credit for participation. Okay, so you
Yeah.
see, I took what you said because remember, I have to make sure that I understand what it is that you're saying. Not to say that I didn't, but I just wanted to make sure that I worded it correctly. Because again, when we interpret things, we can interpret things differently. And you want to, when you're writing, you want to make sure that your writing is concise and you want to make sure that it is very clear. Okay, so that's very important.
Okay.
All right. So again, that's the second reason. And again, you're going to come up with 2 or 3.
I didn't get that.
You're going to come up with 2 or 3 more sentences to support your reasoning. So in essence, you're going to have maybe 5 sentences total at best for each paragraph. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Did you have another question?
I'm trying to remember it. I'm gonna tell you it in a few minutes. I'm trying to remember it.
Oh, okay. Well, if you do remember it, just feel free to chime in, and then I can hopefully answer your question.
Okay.
Now,
I remember. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr.
I
Neal.
mean to break this. Sorry. So you're saying you can use I, E, I, me, and you. Like you cannot use it in an essay. You cannot like put it in the essay.
No.
Okay.
And simply because, and as I always have said before, the reader doesn't care about your opinion. They don't care about what you feel and what you think. They don't. What they only care about is the fact of, number one, can you successfully write an argumentative essay, and can you use the elements that were taught to you and apply them correctly? Your opinion don't matter. It really doesn't, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Okay, so just remember, you cannot write this in a first person, because think about it. If we could write it all in first person, it would be a lot of people that would, get the English, the RLA, they would pass it on the first try, because they are comfortable. When we're comfortable with our opinions, we can write easy, no problem. But this is going to take a little bit of critical thinking. This is going to take for us to think outside of the box and outside of ourselves, so that way we can understand different points of view. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I'm happy that I hope that I succinctly answered your question. I hope.
Yeah, you did answer it.
Okay. So again, if you are someone that struggles with going from first person to third person, or you are not confident with writing in a third person, you need to check out the Schoolhouse Rock playlist on the 8 parts of speech, especially the pronouns, because that is going to help you with the pronouns that you can use in your essay. Okay, I strongly encourage you all to do that. All right. So we're actually almost finished in a sense. And hopefully, so far it's so far so good for you all that are watching. Now, the 4th paragraph. Now, the 4th paragraph can go one or two ways, because we've actually had this conversation a couple of months ago when we were reviewing argumentative essay writing, or the process of it. Now, let me preface this by saying this. Just because I was taught a certain way to do a certain thing, that doesn't mean that if you learned it a different way, or if you learned something totally different, that is wrong. And I want to make sure that we understand that, because different people at different times in life learn different things. Okay. So I say that to say this: on the 4th paragraph, you can either write this. The 3rd reason, or what's called a counter argument. Now, some people, like myself, was taught about writing just 3 reasons, or in an essay, writing your 3 reasons, and each reason is is a paragraph, okay? The newer generation, the millennials, which is cool, they were taught to write a counter argument. Now, what in the world is a counter argument? Well, let's break it down. The word counter means opposite. So, for example, when we went, well, I don't know about you, but I like watching these little court shows when I can catch them. And so, like, for example, on Judge Mathis, you have the plaintiff who's suing the defendant for $5,000 for something. And then the defendant comes in with a counterclaim, meaning that they're suing the plaintiff for $5,000. So somebody gonna win the $5,000. But they have to have their proof and they have to substantiate their claim. Okay. So a counter argument is exactly what that is. You made your stance, but you're also explaining the opposite of the reasoning that you gave. So for example, if you said, yes, schools should open in August. Okay, schools should open in August. So that is your stance. The counter argument is going to be, no, schools should not open just yet in August because da 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 da. Now, my personal stance, my personal stance on the counter argument is this. And again, I'm not saying that the counter argument is wrong. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm just giving my personal opinion as it relates to the counter argument. To me, the counter argument, I'm not going to say that it's unnecessary, but it does give a different viewpoint to what you originally stated. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to anybody that's watching the playback or to anyone that is, in class right now. So again, I'm not saying that the counter argument is wrong. Would Ms. Hampton write a counter argument? I probably would not. Simply because I've picked a side and I'm going to stay with that side. Now, of course, if my teacher or my professor says you have to write a counter argument, then sure, of course. But in most cases, I try to keep it as simple and I try to keep it as level-headed as possible. So for me, I would go with my 3 reasons. Okay, I would go with my 3 reasons. That way you can definitely see that I've chosen a side and I picked the side, and this is the reason why I chose that side. Okay. With a counter argument, you're simply going against what you said, but you're explaining the reason why this could not work. So again, should schools be open in August? You start off by saying yes. Your counter argument would be no. On the other hand, schools should not be open because of blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I just want you to keep that in mind. There are many, different formats that, you can take as it relates to the argumentative essay. But please be mindful, if you are not familiar with a counter argument, or if you don't know what a counter argument is, just stick to what you know. Now, if you're interested in a counter argument, they have a plethora of resources that you can look up, so that way you can see how the counter argument goes into an argumentative essay. And I strongly encourage that you look those things up if you are interested in that. Okay, so
you got a website for it?
Well, I'm pretty sure you can Google it.
Okay.
But what I will do is when I upload this video, I will be sure to leave some resources in the pinned comment section, so that way you all can look it up for yourself. All right.
Okay, no problem.
All right, so we are almost out of time here. So again, I just want to say thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. I got 5 more minutes with you all, and then we're going to wrap this thing up and put a pretty little bow on it. Okay. Now, the last part of the argumentative essay is the conclusion. Okay. The conclusion is exactly what it is. It's the end. So please don't write the end or, finally, or, you don't have to write any of that. We know it's the end. How do we know it's the end? Because in your conclusion, you are simply going to restate. Notice I didn't say rewrite. You're going to restate your introductory paragraph. I didn't say rewrite. So you're not going to just simply copy and paste the first paragraph you're not going to do that. So please don't do that. Because I don't want that for you. So when I say restate, that simply means you're going to summarize. Let me put that. Okay. Right. So that's what I mean. You're going to summarize it. So you're not necessarily going to rewrite the same word. So please do not do that. Seriously. Okay. Gonna make sure. All right. All right. So in essence, we have just gone over the 5 parts of the essay. Again, please take the time out to watch this video again. Jot down any notes that you have, any questions that you have, leave them in the comments section once I upload this video, and I'll be more than happy to respond and answer. Are there any questions at all over what we've covered today?
Not really.
Okay. Brittany, if you're still joining us or still with us, do you have any questions? And again, I'm not quite sure if she's on or not because I can't see anybody, but I'm just going to take that as no question. So remember, no news is good news to me. All right. So what I'm now going to do is I am going to stop the screen share, and we're going to wrap this thing up, put a pretty little bow on it. Now, you don't have an assignment, not today. But if you missed class on yesterday, your assignment is simply this. You're going to go back to Monday's video. You're going to watch Monday's video, and you're going to do the assignment, which is due by noon today. See, this is all simple. So today there is no assignment for what we've gone over today. However, if you were not in class on yesterday, you are going to watch Monday's playback video, and you are going to do the assignment. See, it's not bad. And the good news is it's already up. See? And it is due by noon today. So just remember, always make sure that you watch the videos, even if you can't make it to class, and you turn in the assignments via email to me. That's very important. You just can't watch the videos. That's not really helping your cause. It's really not. Okay. So again, do you all have any final thoughts? Do you have any feedback? Do you have any questions for little old Miss Hampton?
Not at this moment. I can't think of any right now.
Okay. So remember, your assignment is to watch the playback video for Monday. The good news is
I did already.
Oh, you did?
I did watch it. Oh, yeah. But I didn't know it had. Well, I didn't know it was an assignment.
Remember, there will always be an assignment unless I say otherwise.
Okay.
So remember, nothing has changed, just the platform. And instead of you seeing me in real time, you see me over a computer screen. But nothing has really changed. So make sure that you all are just not watching the videos. This is so important because when I critique your work and look over your work, I want you to be prepared to take the GED test once these testing centers open back up. I want you to be ready. So this is a perfect opportunity for you all now to really study, to really, grind, and to really make sure that you all are prepared. So take this opportunity and to make sure that you are ready. Okay. So with all
They
that being
didn't,
said,
Miss Hampton, they didn't like specifically say when they like opening up back. They
you have
they haven't like say they haven't say specifically when they opening back.
you said they sent you information.
No, they haven't say when they like specifically opening back. Like
Oh, I don't know. You will have to
that
go.
answer.
I don't know. You have to go to GED.com or call the 1-800 GED number to get that information, or check the website, check your emails daily. They may have sent you something to just so that way you can stay informed. So please do your due diligence and research. That's very important.
Okay.
All right. So, with all that being said, again, thank you all so much for joining me this morning. You all will get your hour credit for today. However, make sure that you do the assignment from Monday's class and turn it in to me by noon today. Okay.
Okay. We
All
can't do
right.
up to
So,
10:30 right now.
huh?
We can't do up to 10:30 right now because it's really interesting.
We can't. You can't do what?
Can we do up to 10:30
Well,
right now?
I do have to prepare for my math class, Mr. Neal. See that's the thing, y'all.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess y'all forgot I teach a math class too. So I have to prepare for my math
Why
class
don't we
as
start from 8? So why don't we start from 8?
well. Absolutely not. So again, I do appreciate your feedback, Mr. Neal. However, it is very important that we make sure that we are adhering the best that we can with the rules and regulations that have been given to us. And again, tomorrow's another day. So we can continue to talk about should schools open back up, um, as a discussion. We can continue to talk about it tomorrow because
Okay, no problem.
tomorrow's another day. Can't give you everything in one day. So with all of that being said, I am 2-3 minutes over my time, and I want to make sure that I process this video so that way the people that did not make it to class today will have an opportunity to watch this video in its entirety, and that they can take their notes as well. I have to, I have to maintain a level of consistency when it comes to that. So that's very important to me. Okay. So again, your assignment, if you were not in class on Monday, so if you're watching this video right now as a playback and you did not come to class on Monday, your assignment is the Monday assignment. Okay. So that's just what that is. And it's
Yeah.
very simple. Very, very simple. Okay. So again, Miss Hampton loves each and every one of you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I just pray that you all continue to stay safe. I pray that you all continue to practice social distancing, washing your hands, all of that good jazz, and just making sure that everything is everything, because that's important. Okay. So with
Yeah.
all that being said, I gotta go. All right. So if you have any other further questions, hit me up offline. You know how to find me. You know where to reach me. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So you all have a wonderful and blessed Tuesday. Remember to stay safe, and I will see you all on Wednesday. Bye.
Tomorrow. Alright then. I did enjoy the class and I did learn a lot. So appreciate it and see you tomorrow. Have a good one.
Absolutely, Mr. Neal. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate your participation and your willingness and due diligence of coming to class.
Yeah, appreciate it.
No
And I'm
problem.
gonna submit your assignment that you say the yesterday video that you post, the
Yes.
math.
Well, no, I'm not referring to the math. I'm referring to the English.
Oh, cause I see a math that you post. Okay, okay.
Ooh, excuse me. So yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna submit it by noon. Okay, no problem.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Neil. I definitely appreciate you.
You're welcome. No problem. All right, then. Have a good one.
You too, Mr. Neil.
All right, bye.
Bye bye.